she tweets. After she saw it, she tweeted, ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police. She called the police. On our show Tuesday night, MTG, Clan Mom as we call her, earlier in the day, called 3 of her fellow Republicans pro-pedophile for supporting Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination. If she's gonna report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police, I'll go to the Justice League.
Have you ever told a joke that fell flat? Well, imagine if instead of awkward silence, you got reported to the police. That's exactly what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. But don't worry, he's not in handcuffs. He's laughing all the way to the bank. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. We've all been there, saying something we thought was funny, only to have it backfire. But MTG's reaction takes the cake, doesn't it? Stay tuned to see how this relatable moment turned into a national debate about free speech, comedy, and politicians with glass jaws. So MTG thought she'd teach Kimmel a lesson, but it looks like the joke's on her.
This afternoon, she wrote, "You weren't joking. You hide your misogyny and your racism behind your jokes on ABC. This was a dog whistle to the violent left to assault me or worse." And you're misspelled "you're," of course. Note to Jimmy Kimmel, not only would Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband make quick work of you, but Rep. MTG herself would make quick work of you. Kimmel would not last too long if you were interested in engaging in unprovoked, terrible violence against this Congresswoman. On our show Tuesday night, MTG, Clan Mom as we call her, earlier in the day, called 3 of her fellow Republicans pro-pedophile for supporting Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination.
Our favorite space laser enthusiast decided Kimmel's little quip was a real threat. I mean, who wouldn't be terrified of Will Smith's imaginary slap, right? But instead of brushing it off, MTG went full Karen and called the Capitol Police. Now here's where it gets really funny. MTG called the same folks she voted against honoring for defending the Capitol on January 6th. Talk about awkward. It's like asking your ex to be your wingman at a bar. But hey, maybe she thought they'd be extra motivated to help her out after that snub. Meanwhile, Kimmel's probably just chilling at home, wondering if he should wear his fancy arrest me pajamas for the cops. You know, the ones with the little handcuffs printed all over them. He's probably more worried about whether his hair looks good for his mugshot than any actual consequences. The internet, being the internet, is having an absolute field day with this. Memes are popping up faster than MTG can say, Jewish space lasers. There's one of MTG in a snowflake costume, another with her wearing a I want to speak to the manager of jokes t-shirt. It's like Christmas came early for meme makers. The irony meter's off the charts here, folks. MTG, the queen of controversial statements, can't take a joke. That's like Trump complaining about bad hair days, or Biden forgetting where he put his reading glasses. It's just too perfect. But the cherry on top of this comedy Sunday, Kimmel coined a new term, snowciopath. It's like a snowflake, but with a dash of sociopath. MTG's new nickname? Who knows, but it's catchy enough that it might just stick.
Well, that's nice. She thinks I have fans. I guess that's good, but now listen, not only don't I condone death or any kind of threats against anyone, especially as I get dozens of them a week myself, keep wearing a mask. Well, Senator Cruz replied to this, that was not written to him, bizarre, 535 members of Congress can attend the State of the Union without wearing masks, still not good enough for Hollywood, she tweets. After she saw it, she tweeted, ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police. She called the police.
It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Snowciopath Green. Sounds like a character from a political satire comic book. Well, folks, just when we thought this comedy circus couldn't get any zanier, guess who decided to buy a ticket and join the show? Yep, the orange ringmaster himself, Donald Trump. But wait, did Trump just call Kimmel a failed comedian? Talk about the pot calling the kettle orange. It seems our former president couldn't resist the urge to weigh in on the Kimmel Green kerfuffle, because let's face it, Trump's never met a controversy he didn't want to make about himself. But here's the kicker, Trump's attempt at critiquing comedy is about as smooth as his hair on a windy day. Not very. Trump's insult backfired faster than you can say Covfeef.
This woman, you may remember, she's the one who endorsed fringe conspiracy theories and repeatedly indicated support for executing prominent Democratic politicians. Now she's dialing 911 because she got made fun of.
First, new evidence tonight that you, the American people, all of us, we were all lied to.
Frankly, we did win this election.
We were lied to by Joe Biden.
If she's going to report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police. I'll go to the Justice League.
Instead of bringing Kimmel down, it's like he accidentally pressed the boost button on Kimmel's ratings. Turns out Trump's still great for TV, just not in the way he thinks. Who knew that being the butt of jokes could be so profitable? Maybe Trump should consider a career change and become a professional punchline. But the real comedy gold, Kimmel's response. He quipped about living rent-free in Trump's head. Now that's what I call prime real estate, folks. Although, considering the amount of space up there, the rent's probably pretty cheap. The best part of this whole debacle, it's like Trump accidentally hit the assemble button for the comedy Avengers. Comedians and late-night hosts rallied to defend Kimmel faster than you can say it's Mueller time. It's like watching a superhero team up, but with more dad jokes and fewer capes. Take Stephen Colbert, for instance. He couldn't resist taking a jab at MTG's police report. I guess she really is pro-life, Colbert quipped. She wants to give birth to a punchline.
Congress right now, there's one guy who's responsible for that, and that's Donald Trump.
Obama amnesty. Amnesty. Obama amnesty.
What kind of president needs a no card to answer a basic and predictable question?
After processing the fact that someone called the police on me, believe it or not, this has never happened to me in my life. I tweeted back, I wrote, "Officer, I'd like to report a joke."
Ouch! That burn was so severe, MTG might need to call the fire department next. Meanwhile, Trevor Noah joined the fray, probably wondering if he could get Trump to insult him too. After all, nothing says successful comedian quite like being on Trump's naughty list. Well folks, it looks like our political comedians aren't just cracking jokes, they're basically democracy's own personal bodyguards. Who knew laughter could be such a powerful weapon? It's like tickling authoritarianism until it pees its pants. But here's the kicker, when politicians try to shut down the comedy club, they end up becoming the punchline themselves. It's like they're allergic to humor, and every joke makes them break out in a rash of ridiculous reactions. And let's be honest, watching them squirm is half the fun. So next time you're scrolling through memes or giggling at a late night monologue, remember, you're not just wasting time on the internet. You're basically a modern day Paul Revere, except instead of shouting, "The British are coming," you're sharing cat memes with politicians' faces photoshopped onto them. It's practically patriotic.